When was your lowest moment in life? My lowest moment in life was at 22 years old, a week and a half before my 23rd birthday. I had this realization. I'm about to be 23 and I never went to college. I never had a full-time job. Am I happy with the direction that my life is heading? If I made a list of all the things that mattered to me, self-respect, finances, health, relationships, accomplishments, communication, networking, here is how I would rank myself. Maybe some of you see this as a problem. In some or all areas, you may be better off. Some of you may see this and think it is normal. It is okay to be here at 23. I saw it as a problem, but to be honest, making this graph showed to me that I may be more normal than I thought. It might sound bad, but I bet there are a lot of 23-year-olds with $0 to their name. Now, how could this possibly be my lowest moment? Because the graph doesn't show how those numbers came to be. I had self-respect because I was never someone that put others down. I never bullied others. I never gossiped or trash talked other people. I liked that about myself. So many people bring others down. I had done things that I respected. Remember that question? Am I happy with the direction my life is heading? The answer to that is no. How could I possibly have self-respect when I'm not happy with the direction that my life is heading? Being a good person is good, but it doesn't give me direction. Now, let's dig deep and be honest with myself. Finances. I gave myself the score of a 0. At all times, throughout the ages of 16 to 22, I never had more than $600 in my account. My early 20s I spent with $100 to $200 on average in my account. Sometimes I would be at a gas station and the amount of money I had in my account would not allow me to put gas to my car. In my head, it didn't make any sense because I had a positive amount. Maybe it was only $40 or $100, but it was positive. The banks don't expect that. They don't count on a person having so little in an account that you could just have in your wallet. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a bank. Now you think that's bad. So you have no money, so it's a 0. $0 equals a score of a 0. However, what you don't see is where I got the money for the things I needed. I got that money from my father. Sure, I would work and spend most of that money on gas, commuting, climbing memberships, shoes, etc. But the money for my car, the money for that car's insurance, the money for the food I was eating, the money for the roof over my head, for a lot of things, it was coming from my father. For the first time in my life, I realized I had taken advantage of him, and I felt horrible about myself. I cannot speak on behalf of other people growing up. I know some people have parents with decent income. For me, that was not my situation. We were not dirt poor, but my father had been working two full-time jobs ever since I could remember. Not those like 2 online jobs, 2 full-time labor-intensive jobs, 102-hour weeks of work. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I had to check the math and that's right. Always falling asleep, even on a special day or during dinner, sleeping 3 to 4 hours every day, all for me and to support me. You see, growing up, he just wanted me to go to school. Go to school, study hard so you don't have to work 2 jobs like me. I didn't really do that. I didn't do bad in school, but I didn't give it my best. Giving something your best is almost crazy. Your best potential is fucking high. So as I'm about to turn 23, I come to understand how much my father truly had to sacrifice for me. It's one thing to be a kid and be in school, sure. But now I'm an adult and I'm not in school anymore. I also felt like even if I wanted to pursue things, time was up. I should have had that drive at 14. I wouldn't have had the life experience that I have now, but if I was able to support the house in some way, allow my father to relax a little bit, I would have been happier. If I could have rated myself lower than a 0, I would. Maybe this video would be too long if I tried to explain my ratings for each of those categories: health, relationships, networking, etc. So I'm not gonna dive into those topics. I had hit my lowest point. I'm gonna describe what that truly feels like. The emotions and the way my mind changed once I actually realized it. The emotion I felt was disgust. I was unhappy with where I was at and that I was not contributing to anything. When you feel disgust, when you feel disgusting, it's a horrible feeling. My mind was restless. The day I realized this was 9 days before I would turn 23. It was the fact that my birthday was coming up that made me realize it. I didn't even notice my birthday was coming up simply because I don't celebrate my birthday. I had no money to celebrate my birthday, so I would never ask others to celebrate something that I couldn't reciprocate. I think the last time I celebrated my birthday with my family, I was like 16. Once I had that realization, I didn't sleep. I would have loved to, but the thoughts just kept running through my head. That day, I went on multiple walks through the woods. Once it got dark, I just paced around in my room, walking around in circles, thinking. I grabbed a pen and paper and just started listing down any idea that I could to solve this problem I had. How can I not be a financial burden? How can I take responsibility and catch up to where I'm supposed to be? Having a child is expensive. Having to pay rent, more than one car insurance, food, all these other factors, it costs a lot of money. So let me think real hard. What can I do? So I started writing things down, and one of the things I wrote down was join the reserves in the military. Out of everything on that list, that ended up making the most amount of sense, but I had a bunch of questions because I knew nothing about the military. My father told me about the reserves a long time ago, like years back, and when I heard about it, I kind of just ignored it. I was like, the military? I don't want to be in the military, and I never looked into it. That restless mind I had, I needed a solution. I was going to do basically whatever it took to get a solution. And I knew that next day, first thing in the morning, I was gonna go drive to a recruiting office and ask my questions. And that's exactly what I did. I drove to my local recruiting office and I went to talk to every single branch. That wasn't my intention, but that's what ended up happening. I had a lot of questions. I wanted to compare my options. And once I asked my questions, I ended up signing that same day with the Marine Corps. It wasn't about did I like what I was going to do. It was, can this thing solve my problem? Can X solve Y? Can the military solve my problem of where I wanted to be? I wanted to free my parents from a financial burden and not be a cost to them anymore. I wanted them to be able to work a little. I wanted my father to be able to work a little less because he had to work 2 jobs just to support the family. And I knew if I wasn't there, he could work a little less and I would be happier. And secondly, I needed somewhere that I could live. So I had to leave there, make money, and have somewhere to live. So once my questions were answered, it was pretty simple. Quality of life, what the military is like, everything else kind of just didn't matter. I had my mind set. Cool, this can solve my problem. Where do I sign? And I signed that same day. That moment where I signed to proceed, to go on to the next steps, that moment showed who I would become. It was my lowest moment so far, because I would have low moments later on in life, but at that point, that was my lowest moment. And when you hit rock bottom, what are you going to do? You're only going to do 2 things. You're either going to stay there and do nothing and just go back to the exact same situation, or you're going to do something that is going to cause a change. And that's what I did. Me hitting rock bottom showed who I was because of the action that I did. I signed. And people think, well, you haven't even gone through boot camp. You just signed. You haven't done anything. You haven't actually made it. You haven't even blah, blah, blah. That action, that first step is big. People underestimate the first step because I just wanted to give my father peace, to have to worry less day to day. Fast forward a year and a half later, you may be wondering if I solved my problems. Yes, I no longer live at home. I don't ask for $1 from my family. My family isn't worried about me the way they were worried about me before. I did something to allow them to know I'm on a good track for a good cause. Today, I'm 24 and I have $8,000 to my name. I made mistakes between joining and now. I saved $7,000 and spent it all, but that's for another video. I can't go into that here. This video is already gonna be pretty long. Attempt 2. I'm at $8,000 in savings right now. That is all the money I have to my name, but I will never be embarrassed. It's not bad to look at other people and see what's possible, but never compare yourself. And most importantly, don't ever feel embarrassed. Everything in life is your fault and yours alone. I'm not ashamed. Sure, I should have more, but I still improved. I'm in a better situation in life. I have things in those categories that have increased. That isn't the only reason that I'm not upset, because all my stats went up a little bit. I do not feel embarrassed because I want to change. If I didn't want to change, that would be a problem. To not see the problem. I see the problem. I'm being accountable. I already know I will get better, so I choose not to be embarrassed. I've always personally started very low, but if you keep getting better, it always adds up. Rock climbing taught me that. Damn, I got so good at it. And I started pretty bad. I was worse than a lot of people who also started rock climbing. And it took me a long time just to make a little bit of progress. There's nothing special about that either, but just know, you and me, we can both get better. Just because you became something, it doesn't mean anything. It just shows your potential. What you're gonna do day to day to earn that something in your life, that's what matters. You did something hard for 2 weeks, 1 month. What about years? That matters more. If you enjoyed this video was, I wrote this down. I don't know if you could see. I wrote everything. However, I went on and off script a little bit. The point of this video was to motivate, inspire other people, just to tell them that you can get better. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom. It shouldn't get to that, but some of us need to hit rock bottom. I want to motivate you, I want to inspire you, and I want to show you, I want to lead by example, truly what is possible, because I'm learning myself how great I can be. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you didn't like it, dislike the video. It doesn't really matter. Leave a comment, let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. This video was really fun to make. It's something I write. I love to write out my thoughts and express that creativity. So I had a lot of fun making this. And hopefully you enjoyed watching the video if you watched to the end. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.